Good morning, y'all. I hope this finds y'all well. I've got a story to tell you if you care to listen in. This story is about a young executive, and it's Friday afternoon, and it's about 4:30. So he's excited to get off of work and get home to his family. Well, he goes downstairs as he always does, and he gets in his car and he cranks it up. As he's backing out of the parking lot, his navigation system tells him that there's been a bad accident on the bridge, so that he's going to have to go through the tunnel to get out of the city. So he changes his course and he's riding on, listening to his radio like he always does. He's sitting at a light, and all of a sudden he hears a shot go off. And he begins to look around trying to figure out what in the world was that. And about that time, the glass broke on the driver's side window. And he felt a sharp pain in his lower neck. Man, he was just hurting really bad instantly. And he looked up to see what was going on, and he saw these two boys running right at him. And he thought to himself, wow, all right, man, I got some help. They're going to come help me. Well, they got to him, but they throwed him out on the road. And they reached in his back pocket and grabbed his wallet. And then they grabbed the car, drove off, stole his car on him. So he's just laying there in his suit bleeding. A couple minutes passed by and he sees a man walking toward him. And he thought, all right, that guy's surely going to help me. He was a mid-aged gentleman, and he was wearing a suit and carrying a briefcase. Actually, he was the president of the bank. Well, next thing you know, the man done crossed the road on the other side and he was walking away. See, he had a big meeting that he had to go to, I guess. But he surely didn't help him. Well, he laid there for a spell, and he looked up, and there was a woman walking toward him, and she had a Bible in her hand. He said, I know she'll stop and help me. Well, sure enough, she done the same thing. She crossed the road. She went on. She was a member of the church up the street, and she had a meeting with a bunch of ladies she needed to get to. Man, he was fading fast. He was bleeding bad. And he was laying in that road, just about ready to pass out, and he heard this rumbling. Rolled right up on him. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw this big old guy all tattooed up with a big old beard, patches all over his leather jacket, and thought for sure that was it, man. Thought for sure this guy was just going to take his watch and do him in. Well, the guy came up to him, and he got ready to get hurt again, and he heard him talking on the phone. He was talking to get him an ambulance, see? And he reached out and he told him, he said, listen, man, you're going to be okay. I'm going to help you. Well, that's about all he remembered. He passed out. But when the ambulance got there, this biker guy told him, he said, listen, man, this kid ain't got no ID on him, but here's all my information. And if there's any problem as far as how it's going to get paid for, well, just send me all those bills. I'll take care of it. You know that story? Now, you can find that story in the Bible. You know, it's a story of the Good Samaritan. You ever heard that term? Good Samaritan? Well, this is what it says in the Word. You know, character is defined in what a person does, not what he says, right? Some of the best things I've ever learned from are sermons that I saw, not sermons that I heard. He says, be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving yourself. See, a lot of folks deceive themselves, you know, and see themselves as self-righteous. But in all reality, the Lord wants us to be like little children. And let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and truth. So be a good Samaritan when you can, you know, and love one another. And we can all learn from this lesson. Well, God bless you. and have a good weekend.